Welcome to another video. In today's video, I want to show you how I made this cute little turtle. And also, Sky says hi. Let's get to it.
So I actually got this turtle mold off eBay, I believe, but I have seen it in a few other places. And the purpose of this is actually used in like doing pavements and sort of flower pockets in the gardens and driveways. So it's basically used for cement, I believe, but we're going to be using it for casting with Resinecrete today. If you haven't worked with Resinecrete, it is an eco resin and it comes as a powder. All you have to do is mix some water in the ratios of 1:3, so which means 30 grams of water for every 100 grams of powder. And I have used this in many of my projects and I absolutely love it. I will leave you with a discount link in the description below. Now, I do not know how much of the Resinecrete I need for this, so it might be that I'm doing this turtle in layers, and I have decided I want to tint it grey, but we'll see what we end up with. And in fact, you will see I do end up changing the outside of the turtle as we go along, but for now I've tinted it grey and that's what we're going with. So that's my first layer in. This material is quite thin, so it is really good at getting into the little nooks and crannies of the mold and gives a really nice finish and captures all the details. So I'm not worried about any of that. So that was my first layer in. I'm just gonna go ahead and keep mixing up until we are kind of all the way to the top. And let me tell you, it did take a lot of Resinecrete to fill this up. It is a large mold to begin with, and the turtle is pretty deep anyway. Before the last layer sets, I did go ahead and put in my branding logo on the side of this. This is completely optional. I like to do that, so I have done that. And we're gonna leave this to cure and be back in a couple of hours to see how we've got on.
3 hours later.
Okay, so it has been nearly 3 hours. I got busy running some errands and we are back to unmold this. Now, as always, the idea was to actually spray some mold release in the mold before I put this in, but obviously I forgot. Like literally never have I remembered to do this step. Surely I'm not the only one.
Oh, really?
So we haven't got any mold release, but because this mold is plastic, it has a little bit of give in it. It is quite firm, but it has a little bit of give in it. So I'm just trying to pull it away from the edges and see if it loosens up. Now, I was trying to be super careful because I didn't want to like snap one of the, feet or tail or head off the turtle, but luckily this has come out beautifully. I mean, look at all of that detail. Love it. Now, like I said, this mold is used like kind of in pavements and driveways and everything in the garden, so it doesn't really have a base because you're going to have like a little flower bed in it, like with some soil and bits in there. So but we need for this to have a base, so we're just going to make one. And for that, I'm just using a little silicone mat at the bottom and pressing this down on it, and we're going to mix up another little bit of Resinecrete and pour it in, and fingers crossed, hope for the best, we don't get any leakage and this works, because in my brain it does. Let's see if it actually does. I'm just going to take my spatula and just run it along the edge, just so I get a strong bond between the base and the actual turtle, because last thing I want is for them to separate out. So I'm just sort of taking it up the edge a bit before it starts to cure. Okay, so this has now cured. Let's see. Oh my God. Okay, this has worked so well. Like literally, I am so chuffed. Like it looks like it came with the base, honestly. Perfect. Perfect.
Perfect. Everything down to the last minute details.
Okay, so like I said, I did skip a step here that I forgot to record, but what I did do is spray over the turtle with some stone spray paint from Rust-Oleum, I believe it is. I literally just wanted to give this like a rustic stony look. So that's what I did, just fogged it with some stone spray paint. Next thing I'm doing is putting in a tiny bit of epoxy resin. Once again, it's my Jade Diction Officials resin, and putting it in the base, like sort of inside the turtle. Now, having said that, you could totally leave this turtle as it is. You could use it, I don't know, as like a bowl or like a candle plate, or I don't know, so many different things, honestly. But here's what I had in my head. I want this to be the centerpiece of my table outside. So we're going to fill it up a bit with some bits and just make it more interesting. And I obviously am cautious that this is going to be outside in all of the seasons in the UK weather. So I want to make sure that everything I put in here literally stays in there and isn't just flying about with the wind. So hence putting down a layer of epoxy resin to secure everything down. So I have these little glass tea light holders. I don't know from where, but I have like, I don't know, a dozen of these that I got a while ago, and I've used these for several projects. And I just thought I'm going to use these because I have them, and literally I am sticking these down into the resin, and they have a little hole in the bottom, so it creates kind of like a suction and, you know, pulls the resin into them. So these are not going anywhere. These are not going to float. They are going to literally stay where I put them down, which is good. Next, I want to add some of these faux succulents, and I'm going to scatter some sort of little rocks and pebbles along the edge and along the turtle and around these tea lights. So yeah, got these faux succulents just off of eBay again, and I've just snipped off the stems because some of these had really long stems and I don't need those. But yeah, so this part is completely up to how you want to do this, just playing around and chucking stuff in until I am happy with the way it looks. There's literally no right or wrong way of doing this. I do want to fill up all of the empty space, so I'm like really stuffing the succulents in and loving the way this is looking. It just adds in a little bit of that green that I need without me having to maintain these, because these are faux, and literally I will kill any plant. So yeah, I'm happy that these are not real. Guys, if you haven't subscribed, make sure you do. I mean, you're here anyway, you might as well subscribe. Tap that notification bell button so you get notified every time I post a new video. Once I have these down and I'm happy with them, I am going to go ahead and sprinkle some more resin along in the corners and everything, just once again to secure all of this onto the turtle. And I'm ready to show you what this looks like. So this is what this looks like. Love it. This is like the daytime vibe. I did add some solar tea lights in there, and if you've been following me on Instagram, you would know that I'm obsessed with solar tea lights, and this is what it looks like at nighttime. Love, love, love. Let me know what you think in the comments, and I shall see you in the next video. Bye.